Yep. Hey everybody, this is the WooFDriver. We're coming to you live right now in a whole new WooFDriver mobile. So bear with me for a little bit. Gonna make sure we're streaming and keeping everybody entertained. I'm gonna turn this on. Okay. Give me 1 sec, folks. And looks like, hopefully we're live right now. Looks like we are. Can you tell if we're live, Rhett? Okay, you can't tell? Does it? Okay. Okay, you see viewers? Okay. Well, everybody, you check it. Wait for it, Rhett. This is the WooFDriver. This is a new way we're doing this. Okay, everybody. Right back at you. Hopefully, for a while, we'll be broadcasting. We're in a new vehicle here, and we're getting ready to go. Are we ready? Oh, hang on, Chris. This isn't spinning anymore. We need to fix it. Yeah.
See it just stop right there.
Yep. Oh. Oh. It's not spinning anymore. It's caught on the wires. There it goes. It unplugged me. No. Out. Yeah, well, let's not go to that spot. So, everybody, once again, I am the WooFDriver, and you are live with us if we can get the trail working, right? Get the camera. We are actually at the C&O Canal Trail. We've got, in case you're new to my channel, we've got 4 huskies. I call them the Wolf Pack. 3 males. Zorro, he's in the front. He's unmistakable in this crew because he looks like a traditional husky. He is, excuse me, 1 sec. Okay, looks like we're going. See if it gets tangled there.
Okay, yeah, keep my eye on.
Bear with us here, folks. This, again, is a technical feat in itself. Zara is a dark husky, more traditional looking one. Chase is on my right. Zara is right here on my left. Princess is the oldest one. She's actually a little better than 12. And Jag is behind Chase. We're going to try to go. Are we still spinning? Okay, here we go. Here we go, guys. Come on, hike. Okay, and this is, we are our maiden voyage. So, excuse me if I cut out a little bit on you. Okay, and here we go. We are off. So, what the story is, I run a team of huskies all over the, pretty much east coast of the USA. My main territory is actually, we're based out of Baltimore, so we're more in the tri-state, mid-Atlantic region, we call it, where we hit West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Virginia, even D.C., as well as throughout Maryland. We've been as far as, excuse me, you might see us slowing up here. We're just starting out, so the dogs will take a bunch of bathroom breaks. This stimulates them and excites them, and here we go, excuse me. Little bit of trivia there is, you know, dogs usually in the beginning before they go out in the wild where they feel they might have their predatorial skills at hand. They'll usually go to the bathroom, as well as physical engagement. We'll do that. They don't want to be preying upon something, sorry to sound so harsh, and have to relieve themselves. So that's just part of their traits. And also the activity will stimulate them as well. So very good for them, of course. So we are in a new rig here, and this is totally different than anything we've done previously. It's the same concept, but totally different vehicle. And this is about 12 feet long, so we can actually run 6 dogs on here. In any case, I was telling you, I've gone as far as Massachusetts, Cape Cod. We've done the Cape Cod Rail Trail. Excuse me, bathroom break. We've done the Cape Cod Rail Trail. We've done the Erie Canal, and throughout the other states that I mentioned earlier. We look for trails that are at least 10 miles long. Come on, guys. Hike. So, at least 10 miles long, preferably longer, because we like to do anywhere from 15 to 30 miles. So, we like to do it without backtracking. And what I mean by that is, get to one location, a vehicle will drop us off, and he'll wait for us at another location further down the trail. So therefore, we don't have to turn around and run the same part of the trail that we ran earlier. Reason being, that keeps the dogs motivated, keeps us excited, and lets us see more of the trail. So excuse me, bathroom break again. And Rhett, my co-pilot, you might see him. Camera still spinning, Rhett?
Yeah.
Okay, you'll see him occasionally. He keeps an eye on the dogs and helps out and makes this all possible as well. But as I was saying, okay, Princess was on her bathroom break. Okay, come on. Hi, guys. Good job, Rhett, engaging the steering. Yeah, you like that? That's cool. That helps. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It helps stop. Yeah, on this vehicle, we actually have a brake in the back. And what that enables us to do, if Rhett sees the dog's going to stop and relieve himself, take a bathroom break, pit stop, he's able to hit the brakes first if he sees one of the rear dogs getting ready to do that. And so therefore, we can stop quicker. On a regular sled team, the dogs will go to the bathroom, relieve themselves during the activity, because it's very hard to stop a big team, whether it's 11 dogs or 21 dogs, whatever it may be. But with 4 dogs, and my dogs have never run on a bigger team than they are on now, we stop. And you might notice they're tethered to what we call springers, and they're basically big springs. So therefore, if they pull, they don't have to pull at all when they're on here, but if they choose to, it's gentle engagement as we stop, or as the pressure goes on them, they can feel the spring, the tension of it, so it helps control the pressure on them and the jerking action that might have to happen if we have to do a sudden stop or a sudden change in direction for some reason. So it's designed to this is totally designed for the dogs to be as comfortable as possible and give them the most engagement that they care to be involved with. So my job is to really balance them all out. So Princess, again, she's over 12 years old. So and she's always had a little bit of an awkward gait, so a little bit of an awkward running pattern to her. So her energy will deplete quickest. At the same time, she'll recover the quickest as well. But she doesn't pace herself too well. I've been working with her for years. I've had Princess since she was about 4 years old, so about 8 years. And what my job is, being the WooFDriver, is to balance her with them. So if they pick up a pace, since she's the slowest dog, I have to make sure the pace is suitable for her. And if not, that's why I have brakes. And usually, Chase and Zorro pull the most, and they're pretty much the fastest. I've clocked Jag pretty quick too. Jag's in the back too. The rear dogs are usually, like on a traditional sled and mushing team, wheel dogs. And that's we call them, though they're all wheel dogs because they're running next to wheels here on this sled on wheels, for lack of a better term. So Chase and Zorro can pull like there's no tomorrow, and they can pretty much run forever. So they're in front. Jag is pretty much just a steady runner. He'll go the pace we're going, usually no faster, usually no slower. If you notice, we can determine the dog's shape, but there's somebody in the canal. I see him, somebody in the canal. So we're going under a bridge right now, which is kind of cool. And I don't know if you can see it, it's an old railroad bridge. We good? Hello! Good, how are you? Great. By the way, this trail was built in the late 1700s, early 1800s. And it is actually a canal. We still turning? Everything good? Great, just making sure we're still. This is actually, so the trail, it's a canal, and there's a towpath, which has become a bike riding trail, I'm going to say, the long and short of it is, this was designed as a form of transportation in the 1800s, and they got, it's 184.5 miles long, it's supposed to be longer, it's supposed to go from Washington, D.C., the heart of D.C., Georgetown, bathroom break here, the heart of D.C., which is Georgetown, to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Okay, everybody good? Okay, can you tell if we're still broadcasting, Rhett?
So, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of comments.
Cool. Sorry I can't get to the comments. We're not technically advanced right now, but we will be to be able to respond to those comments. And when I stop, I'll be able to check them out. Come on, guys. Hike. So, long and short of it is, the reason this trail was never completed, because as they were building it, they had a couple major obstacles, one of them being what they call the Paw Paw Tunnel. That is actually a tunnel that they built to bring the canal through the mountain, and the tunnel was supposed to take them something like a year to build, and it took them 14 years. And meanwhile, they were working on other parts of the trail, the canal, but the railroad was able to get a foothold here and come through the same territory that the canal was trying to cover, and the railroad took over. The demand for it was there, and I guess the cost of operation, transportation, etc., was very viable with that. So the canal became pretty much useless. And if you look at this, we're in awe every time we see it, because this was actually hand dug. I mean, I don't know what equipment was available then, but from what I know and from what I've seen, it's pretty much mostly truly manpower. So there's two areas. One's called Little Pool and one's called Big Pool, and they're kind of like big lakes. So we're at Little Pool now, Rhett. And if you go to Wikipedia and look up the C&O Canal, or even to some of my websites like Dog Friendly Trails, you'll get links to different parts of the canal. We've run the whole canal path here. But you'll be able to tell, they actually, when they were building Little Pool and Big Pool, I think they were like originally big runoffs for the canal, big wide areas they could build where they could park the ships and equipment they were using. But it's pretty cool to see those old pictures, because of course I've only seen the canal, or these areas, Little Pool and Big Pool, when they've been full of water, when they're big, humongous, well, relatively speaking, lakes or body of water. So it's very interesting. There's so much history all along this trail we could talk about. But this trail, for the most part, divides Maryland from Virginia, maybe West Virginia in some areas. So one side would be Maryland, one side would be Virginia. And it straddles, and what happens is, one side of the trail the canal is on, and the other side is the Potomac River. And that's where the state line occurs with the river. So this trail is just full of history, and we'll probably be out here. It'll still be dark tonight. We have night vision equipment with us, so hopefully you'll be able to take a peek. And I started running at night years ago when I started actually with my first part of my family, my other Huskies, Zara and Hudson. And I did that. I had to run at night because, of course, when you have daylight saving time and it gets dark earlier in the, excuse me, bathroom break, when it gets dark in the winter months early, the only time that was available for me to run the dogs was in the darker hours. Okay, Jay's going too. So, what I did was I had to learn to cope with the trail. The dogs have a certain amount. Okay, come on, guys, hike. The dogs have a certain amount of IR vision, like most animals. Of course, some better than others. When you're talking, of course, owls and cats probably are a little keener at night, but dogs can definitely see some at night. So for them to run at night is no problem, but for a human, it's a little more challenging. So I tried a lot of different equipment back when I originally started. I'm going back, this is probably, I'm going to say 20 years ago. What I found best were night vision goggles, and they were a costly investment, at least for a pair that really functioned well. They were built to military spec. And what night vision goggles do for you, they see in virtually no light. And what's that? Okay, cool. Yes. Okay, let me know. Yeah, because this is a new bike, we have to be cognizant of how the dogs run and feel them out. There are different precautions if we need to. We have wheel guards and other ways of. The biggest risk, of course, is if it comes too close to the tire, the worst that would happen is their paws could get slightly under the tire, could get slightly under the tire, but the tires are actually deflated some for a softer ride, and for that reason, and because the weight's so spread out here, it's really a minuscule impact on them, but we want to avoid that, of course. So depending on how they run on here, we can also adjust their tether cord if need be. They're not scared at all, as you can tell, of the tires, so they've never been harmed by them because their position is real close to them and they're very comfortable with it. In any case, I was running at night because that was the only time of day I could do it. Got these military spec night vision goggles, which again have the ability to see at night in virtual all darkness, and they have little IR emitters. And what IR is, you might be familiar with a television remote. And when you click it, or when you go to change a channel or adjust the volume, you push a button and you don't see any light communicate with the TV or the cable box, whatever it may be, but there's actually a little bit of light that comes through there, and that's IR light as well, infrared, and that's how it would communicate to change the channel. Well, those infrared lights can be used. They're not very visible to the human eye, but they're used to help certain cameras and night vision goggles to see, and a little bit of these light, you wouldn't even know they were on, can light the whole path up and let the night vision goggles see all the way down there. So it really gives you some incredible vision, and that's why, of course, the military uses them, and I think they are U.S. Invented. So I know whenever I buy any of these night vision able cameras or equipment, it's always illegal to export, and I think that's because our military is so heavily entrenched in night vision. That's a big advantage for us. So it's really cool, though, because when I used to be on the trail without the night vision goggles, I would feel Czar and Hudson give a lot of pull, and they'd get real excited. I'd be like, there's something up there, either a scent or an animal, but I can't see it because I can't see at night. Well, when I got the night vision goggles on, when I finally was able to go out and purchase a pair and put them on, I could see there were raccoons and possum and other nocturnal animals that were out there that was exciting their senses and getting them to pull and to move quicker. So the night vision goggles, in today's day and age, with the invention of the LED bulb, we're able to get more power and light from regular flashlights now and bike lights. So we also have on board a really bright bike light, which we use as well. And don't need the night vision goggles as much anymore. But for a new product we have that we'll be testing out tonight, which could be kind of exciting here, is, just watching our mileage and speed and everything, is something called thermal imaging camera. And the thermal imaging camera has the ability to see heat sources. So, of course, anything living is going to give a little bit of heat off. It's more more reliable in the cooler temperatures, because as you get in the hotter temperatures, the ground will store the heat and you can get false readings. But we'll be able to see any animals that may or may be out, or paranormal activity possibly. Who knows? That brings me to the point. Be sure to check out my Werewolf website. That's WEREWOOF, as in Frank, S as in Sam, werewolves.com website. And that'll show you some of our night runs. We call it midnight mushing, and because we're actually out here sometimes way past midnight. But the thermal imaging camera will give us possibly similar to ghost hunting, and that's what I equate the Werewolf's website to, some of the paranormal activity that may or may not exist, especially in a place like this where you have so much history and so many events that have taken place, and it's actually a very important part of our region here where we're at. So right now, I'm going to take a quick breather. We are at, try to learn, looks like 2.3 miles. And yeah, let's give him a little bit of water. We're going to give him water. Rhett's going to get off. I'm going to pull the headphone for 1 sec. I'm going to get off as well. So I'm going to check the camera as it comes around, folks, just to make sure we're still alive here. If not, I'm talking just to talk in the air. So this is kind of new also. It's one of our, I think actually our first time during the day we did a broadcast, Facebook, which is kind of cool because I've got a lot of Facebook followers, and this is my best way to reach everybody and share the experience here, and hopefully you could take something from it, if not just enjoy the ride. Be a part of it in some way, and you may want to do this yourself. I know there's a few people that have talked to me about doing this, and I'd love to advise and help in any way. This is pretty easy to do. I'm doing it in a much more elaborate way than it needs to be done, but it's pretty exciting stuff. Excuse me 1 sec.
Do we hold on a break while you do that?
No, I think we're still alive. Everything's good. So it looks like we are live, but again, if you'd ever, anybody out there wants to ever get involved with this, I'd love to share more about it. Of course, all over my websites you can learn about it. Again, I'm doing this in a much more elaborate way than it needs to be done because I've pioneered a lot of it, and I like pushing the envelope, taking it further, seeing what more we can get involved with so we can take our journeys to different heights and give the dogs as much excitement as possible. Cool. So the spinning camera is really cool. Excuse me 1 sec. I'm going to sit back in the truck, in the bike.
How we doing? They weren't out there.
No? So, in any case, I still hope you can hear me and everything's good. But, whoop, sorry. I'm going to still go. Whoa, it's real sensitive. Yeah, sorry. So, by the way, just so you know, in case you don't know me, I do a lot of activities with my dogs. When I got my first husky, tell me when you're ready, Rhett. Okay, whoa, I didn't mean to do that. Ready? So when I got my first husky, I learned, I should say he taught me well, you guys, that he needed more activity than I could physically given. Throwing a ball, doing whatever with them. Most Huskies aren't into balls too much, but actually some of mine will play with them some, but not like other breeds that are more motivated by it. So I had to find activities they could get involved with that they might want to do. And I found I am, by the way, in the pet business. We have a small pet company, a wholesale company. So at one of these pet trade shows, I discovered a device, because remember, back then, I'm going back to 95, there wasn't any internet. I'm going to take a break here I'm going to just mention there's some cool remnants of maybe an old bridge. What would you say this was, Rhett? Yeah, very interesting. I don't recall seeing this. You've been here before. Little pedal, Rhett. So this device I found allowed me to safely, that's the key, everything I do is safe, safely attach my dog to the bike. And I could go for a bike ride, and of course I couldn't run as fast as my dog, but I could probably bike ride as fast as he could run. And I purchased this device at a pet trade show. It was kind of a concept idea. That's why it wasn't really readily available to the public yet. And I put it on the bike, and lo and behold, it worked wonders. We went a mile, and my dog was worn out. He was very happy, tuckered out, went home. I just did it right in my neighborhood, and he was good to go for the day. And I'm like, wow. So I started doing that with him a little bit, and he started building a little bit of endurance and really enjoying it. And I thought to myself, maybe we need to go to the bike trail. I wasn't a big biker, but maybe we need to visit the bike trail and do 2 miles. And lo and behold, that's what we did. And bike trail, I discovered it, and he discovered it, and saw the new sights and sounds that were out there instead of the neighborhood streets. And it just became a wonderful experience, and I actually fell in love with it. Come on, Zaro. So that's how that started, and then I was really into everything I was doing. I loved my husky and expanded the family, and that's how the story started. Again, you can read more about that on WooFDriver. So what I'm saying is, if you have a bike and you have a highly energetic dog, like a husky, that needs a certain kind of energy release, where they run a lot, you might look into different attachments for bikes. There's a few of them out there that are really good now, and you can do it along with your dog. Actually, I can bike on a regular bike. There's videos of me. You can bike with 4 dogs if you've trained them well. Something just crossed the trail. It's just a little chipmunk or something, and that gets chases the hunter or the crew. He gets all excited. So once they get amped up here, they will take off at some point and do some mega speeds for a quick burst. But we've been averaging, just so you know, it's kind of a walking pace we do, about 5 miles per hour. So it's really not a traditional dog sled that you might have envisioned in your mind or might have seen on TV. Though they are working in the same capacity, it's not the same exact setup, of course. And again, the dogs here are on the side. Now, I've done where I've had the dogs in front and on a bike, and that's called, there's actually a bike design for that called the Seiko Cart. And that's a hard bike to come across now. But I actually, that's how I started out. After, big set of blue heron. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, there's a lot of wildlife around here. Okay, cool. Dogs can sometimes, especially like Princess, because she's so active, for lack of a better term, on her tether. Sometimes it twists a little bit. You might notice I use carabiners. I've used all different tether straps. Good? Okay. Come on, guys. Hike. Use all different tether straps, but I really like the performance of the carabiners, and I can easily adjust the length. Make sure they're locking, because they can magically make them come apart. Not by pulling them, just by getting in awkward positions, the release can come off. So make sure they're lockable in some way if you do as well. The Springer, which is one of my main bike attachments, actually, if you bought one for a bike, it comes with a rope and a really cool way of running your dog where it detaches if you would come across an obstacle. Maybe you would run into a tree God forbid, the tree would run between you, the leash would break off. We don't have to worry about that on the trails that I run, but mountain biking and other bikers might be interested in that. So, in any case, so the bikes I use are all custom built, and the reason, well, the Seiko cart, a lot of these are built on similar principles with the recumbent features of a Seiko cart. What it is it's a four-wheel quad. They call that a quad bike-like apparatus or ride, and what it does is has attachments on it which put the dogs in the proper position to learn to really pull. So they would be out in front, and it's designed for really 1 to 2 dogs, because one dog, usually 30 pounds plus, depending on the breed, can, on level ground, pull most people on a wheeled apparatus, because remember, once the wheels start going and you're on level ground, you're pretty much freewheeling. So Seiko cart can easily be used with 1 or 2 dogs. What I designed mine for is to work with 3, because at the time I had 3 huskies, and it was pretty cool. When I got the Seiko cart, I had 2 huskies, and Princess was added to the family, and she became the 3rd husky, and it was so cool because Seiko cart's a little more challenging because they're really pulling how they're engaged, and but it's really cool, and it's actually it used to be, I don't know if it still is because they're few and far between now. They're hard to get. The company's changed hands a few times, but it's actually used to train lead sled dogs because with it you can, of course, turn. So therefore, you can teach a dog turning commands, which are haul to the left and G to the right, as well as you can, of course, stop on there and you can slow. It's got a really kind of a rudimentary, really old school kind of brake, but it works, and you can teach them the braking command, which is very important as well. So it helps you do that, and it teaches them to be out in front, and it's a 4-point harness system that it attaches to, which it has rails on it, and what that does is it kind of forces the dog in the right position, and it's a very, very wonderful piece of equipment. I actually have some Seiko carts that we sell. If you're ever interested, you can check out WooFTrax.com, WOOFTRAX. But these bikes are really built with my knowledge from the Seiko cart experience, except for the dogs are on the side here. Because out in front, I just don't have as much control on the trails that we want to visit. And I can't give the dogs the experience I'd like to, with, especially as they get older, with just letting them trot along or whatever the case may be. And these bikes with the electric motor enable me to stay in the seat at all times and enable us to get through situations that might require quick reactions, such as running into other dogs or getting away from other possible situations that the dog may be interested in. The dogs might be, and sometimes I'll have to kind of use the motor to kick them out of their thought process. So we're just cruising along now. It's about in the 50s the temperature. We're still running about 5 miles per hour. We're on this bike's about 12 feet long. We've got 24-inch wheels on it. They're orange, in case you didn't notice. Camera still look good, Rat? Cool. I'm hoping you're still with us. Any questions you may have, I will try to address them on the next stop. Another great feature on the C&O Canal Trail, almost all trails you run into what they call ballards or trail dividers. Keeping the motorized vehicles off the trail is what they're designed for. So they're usually some form of a gate or pull. And these ballards or trail gates are probably the most friendly that we've run into on this trail, because they're just wide enough for us to get through, and they're off the ground on the bottom. They're elevated, so they're Easy for the dogs. The dogs love sniffing around the poles. It's a big attraction, of course, in case you didn't know. And gives them the ability to do that, and gives us the ability to maneuver through them very easily. So we're coming to a set right now. This is probably a parking area. The bike's running really well. What do you think, Brett? Yeah, it's extremely narrow. Of course, not as narrow as a single bike with two wheels. This is actually Fort Frederick. Now, should we ride up here, Redsky?
Do you want to go to the fort?
We could. Yeah. Okay, are we clear? Dogs look good?
Clear, yeah.
Come on, guys. We're going to... And if you're getting a view of this, Princess loves marking it. There she goes. She's feeling good when she's digging in the ground. Okay, so we're going to take a left here, folks. Oh. Yeah, that's a big problem. Let me back up. I had to... Whoa. I forgot. Okay. I'm going to back up a little bit. Back up, guys. Back up. Good boys. Good boys. Okay, now we're going to go forward. Ready? Hike. Okay, sorry. Gotta turn it. Hike. Okay, because we're so wide here, or narrow, I should say, but the turning radius is very limited here. We're going to try to work on that. Remember, these are all custom-built bikes. Okay. Okay. Yep. Cool. Yeah, no, thank you. Actually, it was wearing it. Yep. Cool. Okay, ready? Okay, here we go. So right now is a special treat. We're going to... Whoop. Something just came out.
It's actually mine. Back up slowly. Wait. Little forward. Oh, yep. Forward just a little bit. Alright, now back up. Back up.
Your coat caught in there?
No, nothing got caught. I think you're back on.
Okay, chain came off?
Just a chain, this one middle chain.
Okay, come on, guys. Ready? Come on. I'm going to give it a little gas. Yep. Okay, so what we're doing now, we're taking you over to Fort Frederick, which is an old fort. Is it from the Civil War? Yeah, it might have been when the settlers were here, yeah. So this is pretty interesting. We've been here once or twice, so we just thought we'd give you a quick view, folks, because this is really historic and gives you a neat idea of what we like to do. So we're crossing some railroad tracks. They are live. You always check that. We do cross a lot of tracks on our way. There's no gate here. They're probably not used too much, but easy, guys. Okay, and I remember the fort is open till sunset, I believe. So I think we'll be able to see it. Now, we're not going to actually be able to take you in it because we're probably not allowed to ride up to it. But and it's just well maintained. I don't know if they have any. Again, this is also a Civil War area. I think the fort's from before the Civil War, but they might have reenactments here. And I know this is a big picnic area from seeing it on the net, and it's really cool as can be. So right now we're running on blacktop. Now, I've run on blacktop for many years. I've never had a bad experience with the dog on there. I've tried to keep it to a comfortable level. In other words, I'd rather prefer a trail with dirt or snow, but it doesn't scare us away. But if I do, actually, blacktop will, the concrete, maintain the proper tail length, and keep the pads pretty durable. I don't want to do it all. What's that? I'm going to go to the right. No bikes are pets permitted beyond this point. Okay. So we can't do that. I'm just going to get up for 1 sec. Let's just see if this is... So cool. We still got 140 people are watching. They're still live. Folks, this is so cool. You're still with me. It looks like I still have signal. Again, we are at Fort Frederick. I'll try to tilt the camera a little more. Fort Frederick, which is... Fort Frederick's in Maryland, Rhett? We're in Maryland. Somebody's coming through, Rhett. Excuse us. Can we get back in? Oh, we don't want to be in your way. So, oh, thank you. Huskies. Thank you. Thank you so much. Are we in your way? Yep. Okay, cool. So, again, this is somewhat of a tourist package. Kind of quiet around here all the time, except for the other weekends as well. Cool. It isn't. Modern technology. Should we try to go down there? Is there anything down there? Okay. So we usually stop at a beautiful place like this, and historic, and take pictures, and take in the sights and sounds. Tomorrow you'll probably see a picture post and say, oh, I know where that was taken. So we just before, as you saw, so they're good. We've got, according to the speedometer here, we've got 3.4 miles in right now, and wind is picking up. I don't have a time for you, sorry about that. But it's definitely picking up. Brett, you think I should back up and go around, or you think I should go down there? Yeah, yep. Okay, so Rhett's earning his keep here. He's taking a quick run down to see what's ahead if we want to go that way. Again, we deviated a little bit off the trail to give you a view of Fort Frederick here. And if you saw Fort Frederick, you can go on the internet and look this up. If you saw it, you would see there's no roof in there. It's all open. Okay, it goes down? Okay. Or to turn around here. I'm going to back up a little bit, turn around. Yeah. Come on, guys, back up. Back up. Which they're actually back up. Princess, back up. Good girl. Actually pretty good one. That gives us the ability to back up. Get in the tighter fit. Think I'm good? I think I'm good. Yep. You gonna hop on or? Okay, whoa. Yep. It took off on us. Okay. Come on, guys. Dogs got excited. We got excited. Okay. Haul come around. You'll hear me communicating with them. Just some basic sled dog commands. just to let them know. They all know them. It gives them an idea of the direction we're going to go in. They're directed that way anyway by the bike. Okay, you can hear it. Okay, very good. It's a little challenging to get on, to say the least. Good girl. Zaro, I don't know if you caught that. He was just watering the tire there. Sometimes the tire needs watering. Okay, and that is Fort Frederick in a nutshell, something like that. Okay, here we go, guys. Okay, the car's coming right over there. Okay, I'm going to cut across this grass here. Yep, she was behind us. She got excited and pulled the other way. Okay, just cut right through here. She wanted to go see those people. Okay, this bike, large tires, can make it through pretty much any terrain. That's what I'm excited for, because we go out in 2-3 inches of snow. We go out and the snow's melting and it gets muddy. And just traverse all kinds of terrain. Bigger times it can actually be 5 inches of snow. We're not far off average today, and this is pretty much this day of the week. Tomorrow might be warm, but it's going to be rain. And then temperatures are going to fall off. That rain is going to bring in a cold front, which we're talking temperatures for the weekend in the 40s during the day. Okay, Rhett, give us a railroad check. Okay, slowly. Take our time crossing the tracks. Good boys. And come on, guys. Good boys. And good girl. This princess is the only female, so you'll usually hear me refer to them as good boys. In this area where we went, deviated off the trail to Fort Frederick, is also, I believe, a boat ramp into the Potomac River. This bike, in case you're wondering, has a new style motor on it. Most of our other bikes have Echo Speed motors, they're called. They're mid-drive, so they're mounted in the center of the bike, and they have independent chains from the pedaling. When I mean independent, I mean if you pedal, that's going to be separate from the motors. Good boys and good girl. And mid-drive is a wonderful setup for us, but the company's out of business, from what we know. Boys and good girl. And usually when we get to the gates, I let the dog sniff a little bit and mark their area. Come on, good girl. Come on. Good girl. I let them sniff and mark their area because this ride's for them again, and when they want to do something, if it's doable, we let them do it. Actually, there's some areas we can actually take them off leash. By the way, I started to mention where I do other activities with them, and some are off leash where they run with. We have an ATV, and we're able to go to some large areas, farm areas that are privately owned, and I have an agreement with the farmer to let the dogs run there, and I have an ATV, and it's electric, so I can communicate with them and keep the wildlife as undisturbed as possible. So they are trained off leash, so if we get an area here where we can take them off leash, especially, I will run the dogs all year long, even in warmer temperatures, cautiously and smartly. What I mean by that is we take all appropriate measures I've got from cooling vests like the military uses for the dogs over in the desert wars and war zones, to actual spray systems that baseball teams use to keep the players cool. I've modified some and created my own. That's not an animal. To be able to water the dogs as they run, spray them as they run, keep them cool. Dogs don't sweat, or at least the ones that do. It's very inefficient at cooling them down. So when I spray them, their hair, it's similar to sweating because it's such a fine mist that it actually, as it evaporates, it acts like sweat and cools them. In any case, in those warmer months, anytime we can get to an area where we can take a break, take them off the bike and let them run to the river and get a quick dip or to a pond or whatever that would be safe, we let them do it. We've done it many times. You can see in the videos. The cooler months, you don't need to do that as much. Bathroom break for the princess. Good girl. Sure. Sure. Okay. Good. Come on, guys. Now, you know, this princess went to the bathroom and she's facing the wrong way, so they'll do that. And so we start off real slow to tell them, hey, we're going forward. So when we do take a break, I keep forgetting. I hope to look at the screen and see your questions. I'm hoping on future broadcast that my co-pilot will be able to feed me the questions you guys are sending in. I haven't quite set that up yet. We're hoping to do that soon. Now this trail again is a crushed stone, and you'll notice sometimes there's a strip of grass through the center. There's vehicles that drive here. I know the park ranger. Okay. Okay. Try to get our camera spinning again. Is the battery out or? Okay. There it goes. Cool. Is it on? Can you see?
It's on.
Cool. Cool. So we are still broadcasting. I don't know. Why? Someone? You want? Can you read a couple questions, or is it too hard to see?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. We're gonna try to read a couple questions here real quick. Cool. If you have a question, send it on over now. Okay, no questions. Look at the chaser's eye. Okay, Rhett, you on board? Okay, here we go. Hike. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can certainly submit them, and we're going to try to get to them and answer them. I love what I'm doing. The dogs love it, and that's why we're here. And again, like to share it all with you as much as possible. Encourage people to get out there. Again, the dogs to me have opened my eyes to nature so much more. I've always been an animal lover my whole life, and I've kept reptiles, had many fish part of my family, and cats, and of course dogs, and we have a Chinese crested at home. All kinds of animals I've been involved with all my life. So I've always appreciated nature, but to get out here on these trails and really see nature throughout the course of the whole year in a place like Maryland where the seasons are pretty active. You get some snow, you get the heat of the summer, you get a beautiful spring, you get the leaves changing, a gorgeous fall, so you can really take it all in. And because the dogs need to be out at least as much as you can get them out. Because, wood ducks, pretty rare, and they're up in the tree. What, you want to hoe? Okay, you want to tell me when to stop? Okay, got some wood ducks, and Rhett's going to try to go over and get a picture. We carry cameras with us, so you'll see me sharing a lot of time on the net through Facebook, Flickr, everywhere else, what we do. And we're doing this because it's just so cool. I mean, for the dogs, but I mean, look at the experience we're getting to share with everybody. We love it, but we see some really nice, incredible wildlife, as I was alluding to earlier, and love remembering these times and being able to say, do you remember, hey, when we saw the bear, we saw the cat that might have been a big cat, and so many of the other sights and sounds we've experienced. Did you get them?
Not as good as I
No.
want, but I did get it.
Okay, cool, cool. Okay, so we've seen wood ducks along here, and but you do never know what you're going to see, especially in the evening when we pull out the night vision and thermal imaging cameras. You good? Come on, guys, hike. So when we start up, I usually say hike, and that's what most mushers will say to commence the start of the sled. A lot of times I run into people that'll be like, mush, mush. It's really like, hike, hike. It's all good, though. So I was just saying how the dogs have bring me so much closer to nature and giving me a real appreciation for each season, even when it's kind of crazy outside. Sub-zero temperatures, sometimes we'll get them Arctic-like temperatures, and just tough conditions. The Husky's built for that, so the Husky thrives in it, and we just bundle up, put on electric heated gloves, and try to ride it out to give the dogs the best adventure we can, and to let them unleash their instinct. Now that's my style of training. I try to appeal to their instincts, especially with the Husky. It's the breed that's very close to the wolf, very stubborn. That's probably the first word in most descriptions you'll read about the Husky. And so you have to train it accordingly and appropriately. If they think it's their idea, they want to do it. If it's not their idea, no matter what it is, they don't want to do it. But I've got a training site I call my I Do Get Tamed, IDOGETAME.com, where I tell about how I like to train that. There we go. We got whitetail. See them? And they're all over. 3 of them straight ahead, folks. The dogs are really moving, and I'm going to pace them a little bit, even though Princess is really flying. I hope you're getting a view of this. We're at 10 miles an hour right now, 10.4, 10.5, and they're right down here. They just crossed the canal, and they're parallel to us, and I'm going to slow us down. We max at about 10.5 miles per hour, and it's a cool little ride there. So, good deal. And that's how we get a quick sprint. A lot of excitement there. So you might be able to hear, I'm hoping you're hearing me actually, because again, this is a new technology, and because the camera's mounted up high, I'm using a headset. And I hope I'm audible to you. But that is what the dogs love, of course, when they can pick up on a scent or a wild animal sighting. They love it. And as you can only imagine, this trail is full of them. And Chase, he's the hunter. He wants to go still. So you might hear the panting a little harder there because of that sprint there, and they're really engaged. Their ears are up, noses are in the air, actually on the ground too. Hey Sam, I'm on this other phone because I'm broadcasting from my phone. Did you just call me? Okay. Are you watching me on Facebook? Can you tell me if you hear me? Oh, okay. Well, tune in later so you can hear me. Call me on this number if you need me. I think I'm on February. No, not since January. Cheating the dirt. So, yeah, it's good for him. It's good. Yeah, I think we're still broadcasting. I hope people can hear us. Tune in here. Yep, I see it. I doubt there's rain. Can we see if he's watching? I tried calling him. He didn't even get it. Oh, see that view. Actually, I'm gonna let you hold my phone and see if we can get people to answer questions. Test. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hey, folks. Okay. I think you can hear me. Okay, everybody. This is the WooFDriver. I'm back with you. Yeah, good. Hey, folks. Okay, I'm going to give it to Ratsky. I'm going to see. Okay. Check out Missouri. It's used. Okay, people are on here. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to get everybody so we can do this together. Okay. Check out. Just go through here if you can. Okay, I'm trying to get. So if you just go through here and read them.
Just only if it's a question.
Yeah, you can read them if I need to. I'm gonna get back in there. Try not to touch the screen too much. Just to go through. I don't want you to mess it up. It's just like your phone. It's an Android. Okay, everybody, I'm back with you. Sorry about that. We took a break to make sure everything's working. Took a phone call. Okay, am I good to go, Rhett? Okay, so right now we do have, Rhett does have the ability, my co-pilot, to answer any questions. He can relay them to me to answer, so please, by all means, I'd love to answer a question. Talk about any subject you'd like to talk about. The dogs will sometimes ignore the instructions, depending on the situation. When we're off leash, they do sometimes, but, we have to take appropriate actions, learn to communicate with them in a different way, maybe. And on the bike, it's pretty hard for them not to, because the bike goes. The only thing is, if they want to pull in a different direction, which won't last long, because the weight of the bike and the design of it will keep them going in the direction that we're going. So, press the volume on your left side so you can lower that so we don't get feedback. Do you see the button? Okay. Yep. Okay, say, hit the back like you would hit on your Android. Did you get back to the comments? Okay. So, that's what's so cool about this design on the bikes. So, if I was on a trail on a normal sled, for instance, or even on a pair of skis, I've done that as well, where you don't have them connected so closely, they would be able. Is it? Oh, okay. Oh. Let me. Okay, let me. Excuse me one sec, folks. the best you can. We're learning. Okay, guys. So, camera's still spinning, right? Sorry, folks. Okay, here we go. Let them go. So the dogs really want to go because they see something down here. Probably some whitetail, some deer. Call them whitetail here. Beautiful out here. The sun is starting to set behind us. I'm going to keep my speed balanced for Princess. And as the dogs get out there and they see, well, we're moving now, and there's nothing right in the trail, they'll slow down a bit and burn some of that excitement off. Nice, we have big tires on here. We can run right over branches. So, okay, so if they, I was addressing a question there. If they don't listen, you know, they're kind of have to listen because the way the bike's designed here. And certain things, of course, you know, if they're tired, whatever, I'll cue them or they'll just stop. I'll take a cue from them. So that would be a case where they would just stop. Other instances, if there were other dogs on the trail and they got real excited by it and wanted to keep going, we'd put the brakes on, or again, that's where we would engage the motor and try to take them in another direction so they were didn't get themselves too overexcited, etc. So hopefully that answers your question. I appreciate it. Any more questions, Rhett? Please continue to ask the questions because we are just out here enjoying this lovely day and love to correspond with you. Oh, cool. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Please keep saying the trails, and if you go to dogfriendlytrails.com, again, that's my website, you'll see where we've been, and we're always looking to add to our experience and add to the collection of trails we've been to. So I'm more than interested. Belong to a couple of, that's a wood duck, the way it was flapping, I think. We belong to a couple of Trail Finder websites, but they don't always come up with trails. It's a certain trail we look for in the sense that we need a certain width and rideability, for lack of a better term, where it's level or somewhat level. We do have bikes with motors, so we can make it up the hills, but if it's too hilly, it's just too much wear and tear, and because, again, these are battery operated, at some point we burn all the battery up. We have backup batteries, but it just becomes too tedious. Sure. Who is the alpha? Okay, good question. We get that a lot. Excuse me, we've got a bathroom break here. That's a really good question, and I'm going to explain this to you in WooFDriver terms. Basically, no, we're headed towards D.C. We won't reach it. We're a long ways still